Good morning, great and glorious human beings, and also Kat, I suppose. This is Janora, for anyone asking. We've got our last episode today of By the Ren Book with Mendy and Robbie this week, and we are going to be going over features. I was going to say episode. We're going to go over features from 2.206. So if you guys are following along, make sure you could be using just the release notes within Halo, or you can be using the cool feature that Robbie has been building at haloreleases.remy.dev. But without further ado, I will bring forward Mendy and Robbie to chat about all of the things. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Yeah, hey Robbie.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. This is my last week before the Christmas break, so I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
Brilliant. Before I leave, if you guys have questions or comments, or drop them in the chat. We're keeping an eye on them. We'll pull them up. I'll try to, of course, keep up with the features as the guys talk about them. We'll see how many we can get through. I think I said there were 52, so no pressure, guys. But if you want to finish the year strong, talk fast. All right, have fun.
Thanks, Al.
Right. 206.
2.206. Let's jump into it.
Okay.
Do we need to change scenes for our screen to show up? There we go.
There you go.
Thank you, Al. Okay. First one on the list. This is a big one, I think. All right, incoming webhook service now available. This doesn't do anything for most people yet.
Yeah.
But expanded. A common problem that people have, and like I said, it's a big one. A common problem people have is that Halo is an event-driven platform, and so like when something happens, it triggers something else to occur. And so it subscribes to like webhooks for QuickBooks or Xero or whatever, or when you generate invoices, it sends webhooks out to QuickBooks or Xero as an example. And the problem is that it's meant to be like real time. So you create 3,500 invoices if you do that many, and then you're sending 3,500 webhooks out to QuickBooks or Xero, which would get an immediate block because of the amount of traffic you're hitting at one point. You'd have API rate limiting, you get 429, try again later. And so you end up with a lot of failures that may happen. So this entire service essentially allows for you to queue up those webhooks so that they don't all fire immediately, and they can gracefully handle a retry from the other end. So right now, I think as of today, Xero is the only one that uses
as far
this.
as I know, yeah.
There's a couple places you have to turn it on. You need to turn it on inside of the actual advanced settings, backend monitoring, not in the actual backend service monitoring button, but right above it. There's a use incoming webhook service. And then you can, on this individual integration, you'd be able to configure the different ways that you want it to work at that point. So right now, Xero is the only one. It is beta. You can view those webhooks, so on and so forth. And the idea would be that instead of it being real time necessarily, it triggers it to occur, but it queues up and then processes later on, or based off of ongoing failures, depending on your method of choice from here.
Yeah, and I think Xero is probably the most complained about one, probably for this specific issue, right, of hitting their API too much. They have quite a restrictive
API is very restricted.
API and rate limited API, and so that is often where people get stuck. So this is a good, or hopefully a good solution to that, and then expanding it out to everything else is a kind of why not, right? It may as well use this because it doesn't lock me up or us up in the front end watching these things happen in real time. We can just sort of fire up to get those changes.
Yeah, we have seen some offenders on QuickBooks Online with that, but mostly, like often, we may get. We've seen on like payment requests, like inbound payment methods or something like that. I don't know how, like, which side of it. I haven't really dug into it, so I'm curious to see like how this gets delivered to QuickBooks and like what effect it has on those people who are like, we have a couple clients who complain about it. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Do you have anyone who uses Sage?
No. I don't think we work with anybody who will use any of the legacy invoicing integrations.
So Sage, I think Intact is now the modern one or something.
Yeah, cloud.
Sage
Yeah,
Intact
yeah.
has it's got Sage Intact is like a modern, so to speak, integration. At least doesn't require the desktop application. It's a quote unquote cloud-based system. It just doesn't have the same level of syncing options, I think.
Fine.
Like you can't subscribe to webhooks for inbound stuff, for example.
Right.
So you can push to Sage. But either way, apparently there's now a setting for line level simple tax if using order entry transactions. Cool. I don't know what that means, but if you do and you need it, then great.
Yeah.
Each of invoice payments now be audited. That's good. You can now set a default ticket status for updates in the Jira. So do you have anyone that actually uses Jira's integration?
No, I've always wanted to play with it because it looks quite cool, right? In depth, right?
Yeah.
But I haven't had anybody that's used it.
Mm-hmm. We're doing something with ServiceNow, which is similar. But so we have one client we're doing stuff with ServiceNow with, which is kind of cool. But we've had a couple clients ask us about Jira, and then when we've actually like, okay, here's what it's gonna look like, here's what we need, the request went away.
Yeah.
Either because the MSP is like, I don't want to deal with this, or because the client's like, never mind. We don't know, but either way, it's always interesting when you like go to like end to end all the way through.
Yeah, definitely.
Client. Okay, this is nice. Items product groups can now be set as meters by default, and item product records can also be set as meters.
Nice. Yeah. Helpful again if you need it. Not many people will be using meters today, but certainly in the future, as
it's
Azure Consumption is going to use that.
Exactly. Azure Consumption is going to use it. And I think there's a plugin. There's a third-party like antivirus platform that uses it. I don't remember what it's called.
Acronis.
Acronis.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not antivirus, is it? No.
No, that's backup.
It's backup.
Antivirus.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's Acronis. I think that's what I was thinking of. It's not antivirus. So it's probably like backup consumption, right? Like storage consumption or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The number of gigs that you're backing up each month is
now
uses that consumption.
There's a problem with using meters. So anyone who's using it right now, you may notice that your meter is occasionally wrong. And that is because of the way meters are built out. There's a feature coming in a later version we'll talk about that changes the way meters are handled or introduces a new meter. But there is no concept of a period between meters. And so
yes,
if your number that you're billing is lower than the number that you've billed in the past or something like that, it uses the last number.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't realize that there's a new period. It goes based off the last billed amount or something like that. So if you notice oddities about your meters, don't worry. In a version coming soon, it's in current beta. It's not unstable. So in a version coming soon, that'll be fixed. But either way, you can now make that a default for items and product groups. That is unstable. Right. Added an option to the Dynamics 365 CRM integration to enable disable customer imports matching on customer name if not matched on GUID.
Nice. Okay. I guess again specifically for new setups of the Dynamics 365 integration. I guess this will be helpful.
I feel like this should happen on the Ninja integration.
Pretty much every integration.
Well, the thing is, like Ninja, if you map in Ninja, it doesn't import. Like, you still have to import it manually.
Yeah, I actually believe.
Is that changing?
I have that. I believe Morgan is fixing that for us.
Okay.
That way.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it was. I had a big moan about it recently because it trips loads of people up, right? Not only that, but you've also got. They did add recently. There is a button now for only importing devices from matched tenants or mapped customers, but
I don't like that so much because I usually like the strategy that we use is we create a new client called unmapped assets. And we basically build a location for every integration. And so then
Okay.
Ninja
Yeah.
1 unmapped assets will go there. And then, hey, like we want to know that there's unsynced and unmapped clients, right? That'll be a check. We don't want to skip them entirely. We want to know about them.
Yeah,
And so having that is a nice fallback. So I don't mind that part, but the import of clients after mapping is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, as I said, I that part I have been there was a couple of people in the Discord who had issues with it, which then it always ends up being, oh, you didn't, see the
didn't see the message and you didn't know what it means, or
yeah,
it's not well worded, or
but yeah, I believe Morgan and the team are actually fixing it. Specifically for the Ninja integration, we did also talk about a couple of other integrations which work the same way of solving that same problem. But I believe the Ninja integration is top on that list.
Awesome. So that's what I was thinking this would be good for, because if you do a mapping, then you want to import that client only. You don't want to import other random clients you haven't mapped anymore. You've specifically not mapped, right? Yeah, so that's interesting. But it's still going to import new clients. I don't really get that. Whatever. We don't use Dynamics 365 CRM.
Yeah.
Parameters have been added to the device endpoint to allow a smaller response object to be returned. So you can basically say small response equals true, or you can say no custom fields. And that way you don't have to handle like a freaking large payload that gets sent back to you.
It's nice. I guess this is the default. Small response equals true. I like across other API endpoints. I don't know. Having not played with it that much.
I think they just have like, I don't think it's I think they hard code like what properties are returned or something, and then this endpoint just does everything, and so now they've limited it.
Fine.
But I believe that this will follow similar to like if you look at like the webhooks, for example.
Yeah. There's the small object with
so small objects with fields only, or full object linked out. And the thing is, like they added this because people were just like, I mean, number one, Halo shouldn't have been sending everything, but number two is that people had like heavy webhook usage, and it was causing problems with performance because the database logging was blowing up. Right. So that's why they had to kill the webhooks and then clear up the logs, and they added this new thing to make it like you only have the things that you need, and you don't need the whole thing. So logging is significantly less at that point. So it's similar to that kind of thing.
I still find the custom option here like bizarre, because it then becomes tables and becomes related to the database suddenly. Yeah. So you do that bottom one and then you pick which fields you want. But it's all now database level fields, right?
And device isn't on here.
This is bizarre, the implementation for this, but this is what it is.
Look, I would love it if they were said, okay, like enter a SQL query for the results that you want to return. That'd be freaking awesome.
I wouldn't mind that at all, actually.
Exactly.
That's how I end up using it anyway, I guess. So I just get the small payload and then use a SQL query afterwards to go get all the information you need.
Exactly. All right, licenses importing CSP integration will now include the consumed count property. So that's interesting.
This is cool. It's annoying because you can't use it for billing still, which is odd to me. Like we can't pick to then, because it's just a property against the license, which you can't pick as the count for the license count.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it's cool that it's there. Say bill for consumed amount as opposed to bill for...
Because the whole point is you might have users that are not being imported for one reason or another, right? But they are. I'm not going to say I disagree with you, but some people may have users that are not being imported for some reason, which also consume one of these licenses that they want to bill for, and then you end up with this mismatch, which will never get married up, right?
A little bit. So currently, Halo already presents a number of consumed licenses, right? It does that already. The way it works is when Halo connects to your partner center, it'll import the tenant, it'll import the number of licenses that client has, and then it also imports the SKU of that license. And then when the users connect to your client's Azure tenant and import the users, it'll match the user's licenses to the license you've imported, and it'll automatically assign that license to the user. And so you will already have a consumed account. You can bill on that. You can say bill by count of assigned licenses, or you can bill by users who have this specific license. Either or. The problem is, like what Robbie was saying, if you don't import all of your users, your consumed count is going to be off or inaccurate. Because in order for Halo to show that license is consumed, you have to import that user. But the flip side of that is, in reality, if you have a user that's inside of that tenant that is using a license, you should know about it. And Halo is going to be where you know about it. So you should be importing every user that has a license. They don't need to be like a full user. You can make them a service user, right? But they should at least exist inside of your Halo. So I'm just going to flat out say it. If you're not doing that, you're doing it wrong. If you're filtering out users that have licenses, you're doing it wrong. If they have a license, you want to know about it, and you should be bringing that into your Halo. So this is like I don't agree with this feature, honestly. I feel like it's just giving people an excuse to not do it correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, it's nice to know that it's there as well. I think from the perspective of knowing that
we could do a match. It could be used for like reporting.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's what
the
Halo's
two marry up.
total is. Yeah, we can marry it up.
I think again,
Okay,
being
I
able
hear
to
that.
then report on that to show, actually, for some reason, right? You're
Yeah.
probably right that they should be imported, but then if we can see, there is more consumed than there is imported, then we can actually start to investigate that problem.
Imported. Yeah, that's fair.
Settings
have been added to advanced configuration to include automation actions to populate other variables starting with the hold action.
So it used, I don't know if you know this, but it was doing this automatically before, and it was terrible.
What was doing it automatically? What do you mean?
So for a while, when they changed so that your SLA hold reminders would be completed by an automation, right? So they used to be done like, I don't know how they're really done, but in like a backend service, and then they became now done via an automation. When they became done via an automation, the second SLA hold reminder you got, if you used SLA hold rich action note, would be SLA holder reminder sent.
Oh, because it used the previous.
Because it used the automation action.
Yeah.
That said SLA hold reminder sent. And yeah, basically I went back and forth with.
So the default is to turn this off. I mean,
default it should be off by default. Yes. So they introduced it as a setting.
Yeah.
Because it was doing it by default, and introduced it as a setting, but turned off. But should, fingers crossed, it should be for everybody turned off by default.
So if you have this on, you should check and we want this off.
Yeah. So we go all the way down to. So it's in config advanced, all the way down to the bottom. We can share my screen if you want, or you're there you go. Config advanced, all the way down at the bottom, very, very bottom thing. Include automation actions for last private public action. Leave that turned off. It should be off by default.
Even if people who already had it, you're saying?
Yeah, because it was doing it for everyone.
Yeah.
So they introduced a setting.
And they then off.
Exactly that they
default because they normally don't want to change the behavior if it's current behavior.
Well, I don't know why they made this setting because I don't know a single person that would want.
Yeah, it should just be off. Like if they're gonna turn it off for you by default, then you may as well not make it a setting.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that would ever want to send a customer a reminder that said we sent you a reminder.
Right.
But yeah. It's there, but it should be off by default, so it shouldn't.
Wouldn't it make more sense, Robbie, to on the quick action itself be able to configure if it's part of the private public, or not? Like, wouldn't that make more sense?
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Let's go back to.
Yeah.
Okay. A product code can now be used on build PDF lines. Cool. Nice.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, the build. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Setting has been added to timesheet configuration to control whether to include rounding minimums, etc. as part of charge hours calculations. The setting is to show the actual time entry amount for charge hours. So this is my fault. This is my fault, and not necessarily one that's a good thing. I had a whole I wouldn't say blowout, but it was like an argument back and forth with Tim at Halo about like whether or not charge hours should be rounded because charge hours on the timesheet are not rounded as real time. And when we go to compare that to the amount billed, it's always like, well, why are the hours off? Like anytime we try doing reporting off time, it's always like, why are the hours off? And I was like, based off of one interaction, I'm like, look, this is not how it should work. And I went back and forth with him and I convinced him to basically make it a setting and add it in. And then as I was thinking about it more, I'm like, wait a second. Timesheets really more for utilization. Utilization probably doesn't need, like, you want the real time, not the rounding. So I went and I spoke to like 3 or 4 different MSPs. I actually took like a quick survey and I asked them about this topic, and they were all like, no, you're wrong, Tim's right. So I went back to Tim and I was like, hey, we don't need this anymore. I'm so sorry. And he's like, too late, it's already done. So the setting's already added. We have this feature here. If for whatever reason you want to display rounded time on the charge hours so they match, you can turn it on.
It's maybe useful for, like, you could turn it on, look at it, turn it off again.
Maybe. I mean, it would be nice if it was okay. If it was a toggle, now I'm going to go back to Tim, make it change it. If it was a toggle view on the timesheet screen, like
that would be way better.
That would be way better than like a global setting. Yeah, maybe. I'll go back and make him fix or change it.
Yeah, make him fix it again.
Definitely my fault, and I'm so sorry, Tim. But moving on. You can now exclude agents from being auto-assigned tickets at the team level. This prevents selected agents from receiving tickets via load balancing or round robin. Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool.
I think that's just when you assign to the team, there's another checkbox there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So nothing too fancy. I guess I can show it. If you go to teams, agents, teams, open a team, go to agent, edit, add a team, exclude, no. Team assignment. There it is. Wow.
Yeah.
Almost jumped right over it. That's odd. Is that not in the role? Hold on 1 second. If I go to role, Rising Tide, departments, teams, edit. Okay, it is there. Huh. I must be looking at the screen so much, I just glanced right over that setting.
Yeah,
I thought it was this one. No, that's resource booking. That's also another new one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Then there's also, because there's already an agent level setting for this, right? You can already globally exclude the agent, but obviously we might not want to globally exclude them, exclude them from specific teams, which is cool. Yeah, nice.
An alternative method to send user information using JWT user matching for the embeddable chat widget. I don't know anyone who's using this. One day we will. We're going to have chat support on our website. It'll be great. That's what I've been saying since I joined the MSP 15 years ago, and I've since left and started a new company. I'm saying the same thing. One day we'll have chat support on our website. It'll be great.
Yeah, I don't know how new that works. I'm not going to worry about it right now.
Exactly.
Payment method, and reference
has been added as options. Okay, so this is good. So what you can do now is, I mean, what you've always been able to do is you've been able to take payments via Halo. Like, you can essentially record the payment, and Halo will sync it back up to QuickBooks or to Xero and create that payment record inside of your accounting system. And then once the cash or whatever hits, once the value hits your bank, you can reconcile the payment to the actual transaction. So they've added reference fields and the payment method in there, and it'll actually read the payment methods from your accounting package. So it'll record on what the correct account is. The reference field does not sync back to the payment, so reconciling is still not super easy. But they fixed that in a later version. So cool. Just some new fields they've added when taking payments, and that's really just within the invoice. If we go to an invoice and payments, edit, add a payment, we now have payment method, we have payment reference. Those are the two fields they've added. Pretty straightforward. A lot of good things are like polishing up stuff here. Tiered pricing set against items will now be used for recurring invoice lines and will update when adding new lines or when the quantity changes on the line. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice.
I think I know what that means. It's talking about if you have different priced tiers and the quantity changes.
Yeah, then it will reflect
automatically move the price based off the tier.
Yeah,
I think.
Tiered pricing will now be used for recurring invoice lines and will update when adding new lines or when the quantity changes on the line. Yeah, so it will. If you change the tiered pricing on the item, that will now update the recurring invoice lines automatically. If they change tiers or anything like that, which is good. Cool. The next one, I asked for this actually, although I'm not sure that this is. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was because of me. I think I asked for it like a year ago, but it's one of those things which, as I never noticed it until somebody pointed it out to me, and I was like, that is ridiculous that it's not there. Like, there was up until this point no profit field in the totals area for an invoice.
Yeah, so you're saying like
invoice and just have no idea how much we made.
Total profit
Yeah,
is what you're talking about.
yeah, it just didn't
Because the other
exist.
stuff would be here. It just didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And literally, like, we just realized if you have items that are set to track cost only,
Mhm.
those items don't come off the cost, and so the profit doesn't account for them.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So, but that's also since been fixed, by the way.
Right. Yeah, yeah. We also saw there was another one where it was like I was looking at it the other day, and it was some of the columns, like the total price for a track cost only item would still show a price, even though it had been marked as track cost only, so therefore it should be 0 because it had a price before, like things like that, which again, they're all getting solved and these things go away, but it's just these things that you notice as you're usually when things like that, when someone points it out to you, right? Because we just don't, you're never thinking about that sort of stuff in Halo anymore, or at least I'm not on a daily basis.
Right.
Yeah.
What is this?
Oh, this is back to what you and Connor were
Asset
looking at
management
last
stuff.
time, right?
Yeah.
About is a business application. Added the option to automatically create a business application instance when. Oh, okay. So if we have a business application, we must have an instance of said business application deployed somewhere. So it's just giving you the option to automatically create an asset when you create a new asset type is effectively
and
what this
automatically
is.
link those assets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Then it's
a new setting.
configuration tickets general, so that when using the ticket type setting for scheduled load balance, new tickets will no longer be load balanced when there are unassigned open tickets with the same ticket type.
What?
I understand this, I think. So imagine you've got, let's say 3 people in your team, and you've got, each person has 5 tickets, and your max per person is 5. So now any new ticket that comes in is going to sit in unassigned, basically, right? On that ticket type, if you have the scheduled load balancing for all unassigned tickets, it's going to run every period of schedule. Let's say you have that running every 15, 20 minutes. Okay. 10 minutes goes by, that's still sitting unassigned, right? And if somebody closes a ticket at the same exact time a new ticket comes in, the new ticket is going to load balance and is going to jump the queue of the ticket sitting to be scheduled. And so what's going to happen is, because there are tickets waiting to be scheduled for load balancing, the new ticket's going to go to unassigned and not load balance. It's going to go behind the queue. And then it's going to fall into the normal queuing up of load balancing at that point. If there are no unassigned tickets, it will load balance it correctly. But if there are any unassigned, it'll just fall behind the queue. It's actually pretty smart.
Nice.
Based off of what I'm reading anyways.
They've added in a later release, so we probably shouldn't talk about it, but they've added a new setting that automatically assigns an agent to the next available unassigned ticket when they close a ticket. So almost potentially not even needing that scheduled load balancing, because as soon as they close it, they get assigned the next one.
Yeah, that's cool.
But both are going to be useful for people using load balancing.
You can now hide the user system title field in screen layout profiles for the user entity.
Yeah, have you used screen layout profiles for the various different places you can use them now?
I've done them for clients for navigation menu.
Yeah, so we've done.
Sites,
I did one for contracts the other day for a client. We were using contracts in sort of a unique way, and just hid like 90% of the information. So that was kind of useful.
Yeah, because you can hide like certain fields that you don't want anymore.
Yeah,
right?
loads of system fields, right?
Yeah.
Which are not relevant in the use case you're using them for, or
Not
in a lot of cases for anyone or most people.
You're saying here, I can go to contract and I can create like a new contract screen layout profile, and then I can go here and change my system field visibility. This is new. I haven't seen. I've messed with the tab layout stuff, but it's always a nightmare to deal with.
The system field stuff is like, one, you can define which tab stuff goes on rather than it all being on the details tab, but also there's loads of stuff where it's just not relevant. You can just hide it, get rid of it.
You can change what tab it's going to be on and where it's going to, whether. So this is like whether or not it's visible, and then which tab you want it on. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Is this available like on every entity or just contracts?
No, only a few. So users was the one which is referenced here, but so far it's client site user and then contract.
That's really cool. Oh, I can't do 2 tests. That's funny. And then here, oh, you can't change the tab. You can't move things around here, so you don't have as much control.
No, yeah, nothing's
Okay.
consistent.
Well, it's iterative, right?
Yeah,
That's the magic. Let's see this one. Test site. System field visibility. Yeah, so you can only do like certain things.
Yeah.
There's not much you can change here yet. But the custom tabs you can always rearrange your tab layout stuff.
yeah,
Cool. Looks good. So that's the title field is going to be the new field you can hide
yeah,
on the user entity. So as you saw, like the number of fields and what you can control between contract, user, and site are completely different. So this is just adding another field to the user entity there.
yeah.
Nice.
It's now possible to link quote lines to customers directly, so that when sales orders are created, they are split by customer. What?
I don't know what this is for. It can't be for PSA.
What is it? Well, if it is for PSA, is it for like those customers where you're invoicing different the sort of conglomerate type customers, right? Where you might have 5 different Halo customers that are all the same client, and therefore we might be wanting to link this.
So one quote goes to like the primary client, and then from there it splits by stuff.
Yeah,
whichever subsidiary.
It's insane.
I mean, but I guess that's useful. We would probably use that in the old MSP actually, because we had a lot of nursing homes that are group homes essentially. Like there's a group that owns the homes and invoiced by home. So that's interesting. This is cool. You can now use the configure new chart option in dashboard widgets to create multi-series charts from a single data source.
Yeah, so creating a new chart has been there for a while in dashboard widgets, or is this? No, I think it's been there a while, but this is specifically to create a multi-series chart.
I don't think it's been there I think this is it.
Is it?
I think this is when they introduced it, or maybe I'm wrong. But either way, like what it's talking about is within the dashboards, we can, I guess, make a new one. And then under layout, we can add a widget. And that widget can basically be, it's like report chart. And then we would configure a new chart at that point, and then we can choose the chart types.
I think multi-series is the new one.
You're right.
Yeah, multi-series is the new one. I just looked back. The original feature was open in 2.158.1. And
this is what they're talking about. Specify a report for each series, or use a single report.
So that means you could, which is in theory really cool, right? Because we can have like 5 different
series being on one graph.
Yeah, which is not been possible up to now. Yeah. I was just looking at the original release, and there's a picture of the new option, and configure is misspelt. So I was glad to see that they've fixed that in at least by now. I'm
sure there's like a release note somewhere. It says fixed typo configure.
Yeah.
It is now possible to import overriding item price data during the XLS item import. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
You just keep adding overrides, I guess.
Whether you import the same row multiple times with different
the same row,
same product over and over
on row over row
overrides, I guess.
Interesting.
Morgan, still bless him, has a task outstanding for me where he said he was going to update all the import spreadsheets. And I said, and when you do that, what you should really do is create a report for every single import spreadsheet. And he went, fuck, that's such a good idea.
A lot of them already exist, though.
Yeah, but not all of them. And a lot of them are missing columns that are
missing columns because they've been created over time. But that's something that's going to happen. Like it becomes stale immediately. What they should really do is build a function that'll create the report or export automatically based off supported API properties. So as they continue to build it, like it just dynamically builds their spreadsheet export. That's what they should really do.
Except it'll probably be overwhelming because so many things are technically possible, right? It's like
we can give a prompt. Like we're developing this now, and like we're doing product management now. But when they hit the export button, we're like, okay, what properties do you need to be importing? And you select, and then just there you go. There's your spreadsheet, right? So that would be the right way to do it. But anyways, it's always going to be out of date. You can now set grouped rows and column profiles to be collapsed by default.
That's nice.
Trying to match.
Yeah, that's
so it's going to be like in the column profile inside of the grouping, you would have an option to
so if we were to
collapse
say
it.
group by this, oh,
No.
uh,
Is it not on here? It's going to be under here. There it is. That's
fine. I assumed that was going to be per.
I assumed that it'd be per group. That's exactly where I went. Okay, well that's dumb, but there it is. That's the setting. Glad we actually go to demonstrate it.
Cool. Well, it's there.
I'll ask for my place. You can have endpoint devices.
Oh, yeah, except the setting doesn't work.
Endpoint integration is now possible to use only one organization or all. You're saying it
broken.
doesn't work?
Yeah, it's completely broken.
It always does all?
You know, like with the CSP integration, you can pick which mapping to import.
Or choose a
Yeah, when you pick one, it just imports them all, or it shows you all of them. So
the option is there, so they just haven't wired up the back end.
Yeah. Added a front end option for something which doesn't work yet. Yeah,
exactly.
is what this should say, but it is being fixed. And yes, this will be useful. Again, one of those things where it's like this should be everywhere. This should be ubiquitous across all the integrations, but it's cool that they're going to add it.
Cool. If you use knowledge base portal or knowledge base within your portal or whatever, you can add descriptions to your FAQ lists. One day they're going to rename them to folders, and then it'll be great.
Yeah.
But at this point, this is only useful if you have like an FAQ list that's displayed as a tile, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people. So I prefer using the FAQ
tree
list
menu, right?
as a tree. Yeah. Let me just demonstrate what that looks like real quick. So we have our public knowledge base. If I can find it really fast. Yeah, so here, let me share this tab, right? So this is our portal. We've got our public knowledge base stuff in here, essentially. We've got things that are available to the client or whatever. So these are FAQ lists, and these are articles. But what they're talking about is if it's viewed as a tile, which is a horrible interface, you can put descriptions for that here.
For the tiles, yeah.
I would probably prefer like if we can put a landing page on each FAQ list so that you can open the folder and then see the articles within. And then that can have the description over here. Like that would be a pretty nice feature,
and have the list in the center. You could click.
Yeah, exactly. But I can't open the actual I can only open articles within at this point. So yeah, interesting. Cool.
One day.
And when they rename in folders, that's when we'll get it.
Yeah. Added load balancing setting to the team level. So rather than having to load balance at the ticket type level, we can load balance for the team. Means regardless of ticket type, we load balance for the team rather than load balancing for the ticket type. The ticket type levels override the team levels, which is interesting. I guess that makes sense. And you can do your automatic load balancing schedules at the team level rather than the ticket type level, which I think makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think doing it at the team level makes more sense to me than the ticket type level. And then having some overrides or some specific limits at the ticket type level if you did need that.
Do you restrict what teams have access to what ticket types? As in, like, what teams you can assign to certain ticket types? Like on the allowed values tab. Do you ever mess with that?
Rarely. We have done it recently.
Yeah.
Because especially when it comes to what we see a lot is that people will allow, like a finance team access is allowed for tickets, right?
Yep.
But 95% of ticket types we don't actually want to assign to the finance team. We only want things coming into the finance mailbox or something.
Right.
So yeah, it can be useful if you're trying to use Halo as much as possible and get as many different teams into Halo, it can end up becoming kind of required almost, right? Where you have to
use that.
restrict.
The thing is that we see often, and this is out of the box, by the way, on the Halo trial, the areas are filtered by both team and ticket type.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing marrying the two together, right?
Yeah.
Which means that you can have a ticket that falls in between the gap of ticket type and team. Like you can have an incident ticket type assigned to the project's team, or the finance team, like you just said. And then you know what happens to that ticket? It disappears. And you can't see it because you don't, unless you have like an area showing you everything, right? The areas will filter those views out. This is kind of the same idea where, you know, they should really be married. Like it just depends on how you're operationally managing your team, your company. If you're going by type of ticket, all of your filtering on the area level should be by ticket type. If you're going by team, then your filtering on the area should be by team. And then based off of that, like you can do your load balancing, you can do like whatever that decision is, but you shouldn't really be doing both because unless you're restricting, unless you're using the allow values to marry the two together and say there can never be an incident ticket assigned to projects or there can never be an incident ticket assigned to finance, right? Then you should really be going and changing your filters to make sure that nothing's falling through the cracks.
100%, and also making use of those used for right under the team. What we see all the time, we take on a new
everyone
client
just checks everything, and then it's like, okay, does that make sense? Like, no.
The sales team can be used for tickets, projects, and opportunities.
Exactly.
Okay, is that actually helpful? No. And yeah, making sure you're using that is helpful as well.
This is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's putting their social security numbers in Halo. They probably.
I think it's more about like confidential. Like it's not just. It's also credit card.
Right.
It's also like there's a specific algorithm that you can check for that matches like sensitive data essentially, and it automatically detects like, oh, credit card or social security number has been detected. This is a policy that's like on 365 you can enable for like when it's being emailed out or whatever. So it's kind of cool that they've brought that policy into Halo to say, hey, like auto redact. Like that's neat. Consider redaction method which applies credit card redaction and this method checks for common key terms around the target credit card number. For could be a false positive, for example, it will check if it's part of URL or email address and not redact in this case. That's neat. When enabled, this could lead to some true card numbers or SNM remaining unredacted because it's adding the context awareness, and that context awareness could be wrong. And you don't want, this is one of those things you don't want going to AI. Like, oh, have AI scan and tell me if it's a credit card number. Like, oh, okay, sure. Just send all your sensitive data to AI.
It goes along with like there's actually quite a lot of settings in Halo for redacting information. Like
there's a lot of heavy
users
stuff, which is really nice.
Anonymous. You can automatically make users anonymous after a certain period of time, and there's all sorts of things as well as
tickets or custom fields.
Yeah, custom field values, being able to delete those after X number of days. I've actually used that one a few times with people storing like temporary secrets and things.
Exactly.
Custom field, again, clear it when the ticket gets closed. All that kind of thing is, you know, it's good that it's there. It gives us those options.
Cool. Access control to qualification. Oh no, you can now set defaults for custom tables and ticket templates.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
there's not much to go from there. And access control to qualifications. Oh, so people can modify their own qualifications.
Or allow a manager to do their team's qualifications.
That's what I mean. I don't mean like the technician modifying their own qualification.
I'm good at this. Yeah.
Added a chat flow step to update linked ticket custom fields with preset values. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Pretty straightforward.
When we use chat, we'll talk more about what that does.
Added a setting to disable automatic loading of all services upon accessing the service catalog on the end user's portal to service settings. Whoa. Okay.
I guess to speed up load times.
Yeah, I guess for people who have a lot of services.
Yeah.
Added a time zone field at ticket level. Oh, this is way more complicated than you think it is. This field can be added to ticket type lists and will override all other times relating to this ticket for SLAs specifically. For example, having a ticket with no times set will use the times set at site team level, or adjusting times on the ticket will update the SLA accordingly.
Nice.
Okay.
Again,
I guess
don't know who needs it. Yeah, I don't know why you need this at ticket level, but
I don't know if it would matter. Like it wouldn't really make it. Shouldn't affect the SLA. It's not like we're working the ticket within that time zone.
I guess I don't know. I guess they're saying for this individual ticket,
I don't imagine
already
us using that.
Set it at the. I guess you can't set it at the user level.
We can set it on site. We can set it on like site work hours, right? Within the SLA
but maybe there's like one user
but
within
never.
a site.
They would live in a different area, and so you'd have a different site with a different address and a different time zone and different everything at that point. Like,
I don't disagree with you.
okay, moving on.
I'm clutching here for reasons.
I'm also
this
not
might
going to like
exist.
change the way I guarantee I'm going to deliver service
Yeah,
for a single
no,
user on a
bizarre.
single ticket. That doesn't make any sense. It's going to affect the SLA.
No.
You know.
No, I agree.
Moving on. Where was that?
You can now grant role-based.
You can now grant role-based read and modify access to custom fields on custom tables.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Sure.
That's not custom tables, and choose a custom table to apply to in edit mode. Click the pencil icon on a field. Then you've got the ability to then say agents read. This is kind of like on ticket type stuff. It's really cool.
Exactly the same. Yeah,
exactly like that. But in read mode, you can click on the field to edit the custom field. And the field list to edit the custom field.
Yeah. The only thing which doesn't work here, there is a visibility restrictions on custom tables.
I know, they don't work.
They just don't work.
They do the second time.
Wait, what?
If you go out and go back in, it'll recognize the value and match.
Oh no! Within custom tables,
the
visibility restrictions. If you do so, this
I'm
field only shows. Yes. It just
dynamic visibility also doesn't work the first time, but when you go back into it, it does evaluate.
No, within custom tables doesn't work at all.
No, it does.
I'll show you after. I have a bug open for it. It's a real thing.
I'm not disagreeing, but if you have, let's say you have two fields on a custom table, and one field's dependent on the value of the other.
Yeah.
Then that dynamic visibility will not work.
Yeah.
Unless you set the value, you save it, you go back into it, and then it evaluates the value, and then it shows up. But it doesn't update real time. It never updates real time. But if the value's been set upon loading, it properly shows up based off the value being set. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about something else? Visibility restrictions is based off of...
If we visibility restrict a field within a custom table
to
one customer,
yes, that I'm not talking about.
It doesn't show for anyone, or it
not
shows
even that
for everyone. No, it doesn't show for anyone. It just doesn't exist. Tim said, quote unquote, that's never worked. Why is it there then?
I love that.
Yeah,
you're supposed to like instead of hiding it. That's great.
Yeah.
There we go.
Somebody's given an example. Time zone on ticket level.
We have users called remote. These are full-time remote and cross-modal, so time zone doesn't work.
I can understand.
Yeah, but would you ever? Are you modifying the SLA agreement to match the time zone the user is working in, or are you just working in your normal business hours? And the SLA is not changing. It doesn't matter. And the only thing that it makes a difference is that you know what time zone the user's in, so that you know how, like, what they're going to be awake or sleeping or whatever. Like that, it would make more sense to use like the world clocks, right? And then let the world clock display time for the ticket time zone. That would make way more sense than changing the SLA. But I don't know. It could be you're going to respond to chat that I'm wrong.
Maybe you're 24/7, and then it does matter. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's a thing nonetheless. So global setting to set a password expiry date for end users and agents. Cool.
Except there's a new compliance rule for security. Don't set password expirations.
Yeah, just don't.
Set complex passwords and don't ever change them unless they get compromised. So not really helpful.
Added a use field for asset types.
What?
Cool.
Oh, interesting.
Relevant look with.
What's the point of this?
I have no idea.
So it's just the ability to say, like, is it an asset or a service, like a device or a cloud system, which is fine.
And you could do it. You could set any number of uses, just within lookup codes.
Correct.
Cool, I guess.
Interesting.
Camtext shortcuts is cool though.
Add shortcut context. Where is it? Oh yeah. Yep, that's neat.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Do you have many can texts? We do, but we use them for like lookups. We don't actually use the can text very often. We use them as part of like database lookups to populate automatically.
We don't, but I definitely know people, like customers, that would benefit from that.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to be a lot.
You're going to think this is really cool, and then I'm going to ruin your day.
I mean, I already know why it's not cool, but go for
it. So, for anybody who doesn't know already, for everybody who doesn't know already, they've introduced a new setting to enable user out of offices. Sounds amazing, right? Especially that bit at the bottom where we can see that the user's out of the office. We can pause, I believe we can pause reminders, yeah, so it won't send reminders to them while they're out of office. We can keep the ticket open, etc. All sounds great until you realize you have to manually set it for the user. There is no integration into CSP or 365 to set this. And so
we can do it manually, Robbie. We can do it through the API.
Yeah.
And so we can subscribe to a presence something.
Well, it's actually available over the graph. So my hope is this is classic Halo V1 of a product which is eventually going to be useful.
Yeah, iteration.
Because if this can pull the user's out of office information, that would be genuinely like awesome.
And then it'll update automatically at that point. I think we're at time. We're getting
well,
close to
we've got
so close.
7 minutes, and we're on 38 of 53.
We have all these left to do. It's not really that close.
Yeah, we're not that close.
Yeah.
No. So do you guys want to do a few more, or do we want to stop and take some questions?
Do we have questions?
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, let's ask for questions. We'll find
if you have questions. We'll
stop and
talk about it.
See if there's any interesting ones in the end.
Also,
I mean, they're all very like most of the big ones are at the bottom, right? All these things that are being expanded, like these are all here. Expenses are now audited. That's nice. It's not much. That's pretty simple. We can just call it out. But now we just did. Column profiles are big ones. So these are not.
I just want to call out. I love when you say, Mendy, we're at time. He's like, I'm going to just cram everything into the last 5 minutes.
In the last minute.
Sounds like a challenge. Yeah.
2 more minutes left. I can talk about ticket type and all the settings. Let's get to it, And I just ran through as much of it as we can.
I mean, I'm also happy to bring on user, is it Thrani, who talked about the time zones. If you guys want to, if he wanted to come on, I can send you a link. You can chat.
Right. While we see, let's get some questions. We'll see if there's anything really cool or interesting in here.
This one I've expanded is really cool.
What is that? Yes.
So column profiles are normal. Everyone should know what they are by now. They're used for like ticket areas. They're used for now customer and user areas and stuff like that. This will allow you to actually change the invoicing screen, like actual invoice screen, of what line columns are showing. So I don't mean like just to demonstrate what that is. These are column profiles, literally already here. Okay. But if we go to an invoice, we can actually change the columns that show up here at this point using edit columns. We can create a new column profile and choose what fields from the line we want to see on this screen. That's really cool. And then that's available on quotes, sales orders, and invoices.
Yep. And they added, obviously, recently within this stable that everybody be on, the other one, which is the column profiles for invoices, quotes, purchase orders, and sales orders, but not the lines, right? So we've got both.
Now we have both.
The invoice and then the invoice individual lines, which is it's awesome. It's been needed for forever. They've added it in now.
So do you guys want to just hit the high points here and be done with this, or do you want to just save the last 15 for 2026?
I'm looking to see if there's one that I really want to talk about.
Reapply billing template if a new agreement is added for a customer.
Oh yes. No. Is that on here?
Yeah.
How far down? Down here. No, that's default.
Towards the top of your screen now. About 4 down from expenses are audited.
There you go. Here it is. There's now an option. So this is a setting you want to turn on. Everyone already has this setting. It's on stable. So you want to go to your settings, go to configuration contracts, and then turn on the automatically reapply the billing template if a new agreement is added for a customer. So that's going to be here.
I'm going to give you Connor's opinion about why this is dangerous once you show it.
Mm-hmm. It's down
There, that's the one. So
turn it on.
we've emailed Tim about this, or emailed Halo about this, because this is, in theory, great, right? This is what should happen. The issue is, if you still have the option with a billing template applied to a customer to go and override the billing plan combinations for that customer.
Correct.
And if you do that,
It's going to
they'll
wipe
get
out those
wiped
overrides.
when they get a new contract.
Yeah.
So I think the actual answer is that if you apply a billing template, I'm actually of the opinion that we should lock the billing plan combinations.
Yeah.
And unapplying a template could leave the existing stuff
Mhm.
from the template in there. But if we're using a template, you shouldn't
Be changing it.
certainly with this option on, it should lock it out, but potentially always it should be locked so that you can't override an individual client, because just to preface for anyone again, with this setting on, the billing template will be reapplied to the client. So if you were to manually add an additional line to a client's billing plan combination that said, I don't know, everything is always invoiced, that would be wiped out when we added a new contract for the client, because the template would be reapplied.
Yeah.
But
the rule we follow is do not make changes client level. Like it's exactly what you described. When you have, if you need to make a change client level, remove the template.
Yep.
And I tell them that all the time, because we often go just randomly reapply templates.
Yeah.
And so like it's not, and that cannot be a dangerous button. So
exactly.
if you're going to have a manual override, you have to remove the template. Otherwise, it's going to get lost. I stress that over and over again. So I agree with you that like while the template is linked, it should be locking that table, similar to like the role inheritance, right?
Yep.
That should be locking those permissions because it's inherited from a role. And so when you remove that, it'll keep the settings, but allow you to change them. And then if you apply the template, it'll overwrite whatever's there. So yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah,
now we're at time. I don't think we can shove anything more into that 1 minute.
You guys did really good. What we'll do is we'll just look at the last we'll look at the last couple features here, and if you guys think there's anything, we'll put them in the show notes. So maybe we can talk about that, but we'll end it there, and we'll pick up at 2.208 in the new year.
Yeah. Cool. Exciting. We're on to the stable.
We're on stable. By the time we get there, we'll have a whole nother stable to talk about.
Yes, it's going to be January-ish when the new stable comes out, right? So we're still going to be playing catch up for a long time.
I think it may even be end of January, beginning of February, because they extended their cycle release.
Yeah, I think they said January will be the first one within the new cycle.
Oh, and then they're just going to stretch out between.
Exactly. So I think January will still be the time, and it will still be but again, when in January, I'm not really sure, but yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I think we normally alternate dates the Tuesdays that we do this, and we don't have the meeting on the calendar yet for the one that we'll alternate. So I don't know if we're going to be doing it on the 6th or the 13th, but either way, we'll see everyone in the new year. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Mendy.
No worries.
All
right.